Hello, can you see the slides?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am. Visible.
Yes.
It's visible,
Okay.
ma'am.
So this is the last module in your first year life science BTC 01. This module is on bioprocess engineering. So I'll do the class and after that I'll send the PPT to your CR. I think I have CR's contact number, otherwise I'll find out and send it to the CR. Okay, so this module is on bioprocess engineering, and then bioprocess engineering is a huge subject, and in first year life science we just give a glimpse of the entire biotechnology. And then in today's class we would deal with stoichiometry. Now stoichiometry you have studied in chemistry in school. We would be dealing with some specific areas, that is stoichiometry for biological reactions. And to start with, this is the slide, the first slide. It's already known to you that during chemical or biochemical reactions, these two quantities are conserved. The first is total mass. So we have total mass of reactants equal to total mass of products. That's how we balance the equations. And then number of atoms of each element is consumed, like number of CHO in reactant equal to number of CHO in products. This is also another thing we use for balancing the reaction to get the final stoichiometry. Okay, so here you see this is a very simple problem, just a warm-up problem on you have studied about microorganisms, and then microorganisms are they have pluses and minuses. They produce lot of chemicals which are very useful for us in our everyday life, and also there are some disease causing bacteria, virus, etc., and these are very much harmful to us. So right now we are interested in both the good ones as well as the bad ones. For the good ones, we want to produce them more so that we get the good result out of it. And the bad ones, we want to kill them so that our health is not affected. So both are important to us in two different ways. Anyway, coming to that, there is a chemical called glutamic acid, which is an amino acid, and that glutamic acid, the sodium salt, monosodium glutamate, if you do a simple Google search MSG or monosodium glutamate, you will find a lot of articles. It is used in food industry as flavor enhancer. So, and that is produced using a bacteria Micrococcus glutamicus. Because it produces glutamic acid, the name is like that. And coccus means round shaped. So, Micrococcus glutamicus. So, they can use glucose to produce the glutamic acid. And the stoichiometry of the reaction is given here. Glucose C6H12O6 ammonia plus 3/2O2 gives glutamic acid, which is C5H9NO4 plus CO2 plus H2O, 3H2O. Now 1 mole of glucose produces 1 mole of glutamic acid. Now, and 3/2 mole of oxygen produces 1 mole of glutamic acid. And we know what is the molecular weight of oxygen. You can calculate from the molecular formula, you can calculate the molecular weight of glutamic acid. Then you can tell me what mass of oxygen is required to produce 15 gram of glutamic acid. So do it within 2 minutes and then tell me the answer. This is a very basic one. Then we move to the next topics. Is it okay? Did you understand what you have to do? Hello? 147 is the molecular weight of glutamic acid. I'm telling you. Oxygen 32. And then it is 3 by 2. Then you calculate for 15 gram glutamic acid, how much gram
It
of
is coming
oxygen?
0.89. 4.89 grams of
4.9 is the right answer. Okay, so we move to the, so this is glutamic acid 147, oxygen 32. So 15 into 3 by 2 into 32 divided by 147 equal to 4.9. So this is how, because when we are we have useful chemicals, so we have to produce them commercially. For that we need to know and that how much we need to produce, and then for that how much of the raw materials we need. In that the stoichiometry plays a very major role. So it's very important for us. Now, for any microbial reaction, when they grow, they, like humans, we do respiration, they also do respiration, and then for respiration there will be use of oxygen, production of carbon dioxide. Now when we do a reaction, the tank in which we do the reaction is called a reactor. And when we are doing fermentation, microbial reactions or fermentation, then the reactor is called fermenter. So here we are seeing, and in fermenter there are, our glucose is there, glutamic acid, say glutamic acid is being produced, the bacteria is there and all that, and then there is production of carbon dioxide also, and oxygen is being continuously, you are giving oxygen, continuously supplying air, otherwise the microorganisms won't grow, they need oxygen, and then they will produce the product and emit carbon dioxide. So the gas which is leaving the fermenter at the conditions are given: 1 atmosphere pressure, 25 degree Celsius. That has the following composition: 78.2% nitrogen, 19.2% oxygen, 2.6% carbon dioxide. Now we need to calculate, it's the volumetric composition, means if we have 100 mole, we have 78.2 mole of nitrogen, 19.2 mole of oxygen and 2.6 mole of carbon dioxide. And then we have to calculate the mass composition of the fermenter of gas. Of gas is the gas which is going out. So we have the mole composition, we know the molecular weight, so we can calculate the exact mass of each, add the total mass to get the total mass, and then you make the percentage. Oxygen 28, nitrogen 28, oxygen 32, carbon dioxide 44. So we can calculate.
Ma'am, but volume is not given, volume of the container. Then how will calculate moles? Volume of container should be given now.
Yeah. You take the basis as 100 gram mole. That you take as the basis of solving the problem. That you are given 100 gram mole, and there you have 78.2 gram mole oxygen, 19.2 gram mole, 17.8 gram mole nitrogen, 19.2 gram mole oxygen, 2.6 gram mole carbon dioxide. Multiply by 28, 32, 44. Add and then make percentage.
Ma'am, done.
Yes. The answers is like this: 75%, 21.1%, and 3.9%.
Yes, ma'am, approximately that only.
Yes. So this is
Ma'am, but
how
the second
the
part I couldn't understand what the part B is saying of the
huh?
question. Part B of the question. This is part A. Part B, what it is saying, not understood.
Yeah. Part B, this is part A. So part B is that mass of carbon dioxide in each cubic meter of gas leaving the fermenter. So here we have the volume composition. So if we take the total volume of 1 cubic meter, it has 2.6% of 1 cubic meter value of R. We have T 1 atmosphere, T 25. So we can calculate the moles in, then N into 44 will give us the mass of carbon dioxide. So this is like this: 1 atmosphere into, since it is 1 meter cube and 2.6%, it 0.026 meter cube. And R value is 0.000028057 meter cube atmosphere per gram mole degree Kelvin. So that way we get the value of N equal to 1.06 gram mole, that we multiply by 44 to get 46.8 gram of carbon dioxide. Okay.
Ma'am, one thing, ma'am, if for the percentage we use not 2.6, but the calculated by mass, that is 3.9, then what difference it makes in the calculation?
That you
If we,
calculate and tell me. This is
if
very direct. I did not do it in the roundabout way. It's direct that we have.
Ma'am, sometimes your audio is not audible. Yes.
yes, ma'am, it suddenly goes off sometimes.
And then again it comes.
Audio is not okay. I'll just. Is it clear now?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, but when you are talking, sometimes a part of your audio gets cut out and then automatically. Means you are not muted, but
Network, I think. Uh, okay, so let me repeat the entire thing once again. Huh. 1 minute. Okay, so we have the first part you understood, right? For the second part, when we have the volume is given 1 cubic meter and the percentage carbon dioxide in that is given 2.6%. In 1 cubic meter, 2.6% of 1 cubic meter is 0.026 cubic meter, right? So that is our volume of carbon dioxide. We need to calculate mass. So we are calculating the number of moles. So we have P and R and T are given. So N equal to 1.06 and then we multiply with the mass to get with the molecular weight to get the mass. Okay, next we come to a few definitions. This will help us in our problems of stoichiometry. What is a limiting reactant? Limiting reactant is a reactant which is present in smallest stoichiometric amount. And then excess reactant, that is the reactant present in an amount in excess of that required to combine with all of the limiting reactant. That is an excess reactant. And then percentage excess we can calculate both in terms of moles as well as mass. That is moles present minus moles required to react completely with the limiting reactant divided by moles required to react completely with the limiting reactant into 100, similarly with mass. Now, conversion. Conversion is the fraction, either fraction or percentage of a reactant converted to product. Then degree of completion, that is the fraction of percentage of the limiting reactant converted to product. Selectivity. Selectivity is the amount of a particular product formed as a fraction of the amount that would have been formed if all the feed material had been converted to that particular product. Okay, so that is selectivity. And then yield, the ratio of mass or mole of product formed to reactant consumed. Yes. Yeah, please mute. So then, and there is this problem, we come to ethanol. Ethanol is the oldest technology in the world, and that is something which is very useful for us in everyday life. Ethanol is a very good, it is now being used as a fuel in vehicle. So it's an energy source. It is used in now during the pandemic, all of us use ethanol. All our sanitizers have 70% ethanol. Previously, those alcohols and all that for spirits, those are used only in the hospital for giving any injection or anything. They will clean the place with the spirit and then push the injection, right? But now for every time when we go out, we wash our hand with the 70% alcohol solution, which kills the coronavirus, and this kills all the virus. So it's a very standard sanitizer which is used in pharmaceutical industries, food industries, in hospitals and any kind of medical units, and now by everyone commercially due to an infectious disease outbreak. And it is used as an industrial solvent. Ethanol has lot of application as industrial solvent, as a fuel in vehicle, and then from ethanol alcoholic beverages are produced as well. So different types of uses are there. Now for that we use a yeast called Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and glucose is used for the production. And here for this production we have added some yeast as an inoculum. Inoculum means something when we are using yeast to produce alcohol, yeast will grow and then it will produce alcohol. So we have to grow the yeast, so we are giving food. Glucose is the food for the yeast. For that we have to add some yeast that will grow on some glucose, will grow more. Then the more amount of the yeast will eat more of glucose, they will grow. I mean exponentially their population will increase. So that is the inoculum. Like at home for making curd, what we do? We boil some milk and in the warm milk we add some yesterday's curd and then we keep it for a certain time at certain temperature. So our curd is set. So that is inoculum. So here we are adding yeast inoculum to a solution which has 10 gram per liter glucose. And then that glucose the yeast is eating. After some time 1 gram per liter glucose remains. So 9 gram per liter glucose has been eaten by the yeast and it has produced ethanol. So ethanol concentration is 3.2 gram per liter. Our stoichiometry is that for 1 mole of glucose, we get 2 mole of ethanol, C2H5OH or C2H6O and 2 mole of carbon dioxide. So remember, when we are producing ethanol commercially for our fuel use, we are also adding some greenhouse gas to the atmosphere because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So we have to think of utilization of the greenhouse gas so that it does not cause global warming as well. Anyway, we need to think holistically. So coming back to our stoichiometry problem, we have to find out fractional conversion of glucose to ethanol. We have the stoichiometry given. 180 gram of glucose will produce, molecular weight of ethanol is 46 into 2, 92. Fractional conversion of glucose to ethanol, yield of ethanol from glucose. That is easy. Ethanol is 3.2 and glucose utilized is 9. So yield of ethanol from glucose is 3.2 divided by 9. For the first one, we multiply 3.2 ethanol to 180 gram of glucose divided by 46 into 2 to produce 3.2 gram of ethanol. Stoichiometrically, we need 6.3 gram of glucose. Okay, so this is our first problem. And the second problem is 3.2 by 9, that is 0.36. Okay. So this is our third problem on stoichiometry. Is this okay? So now we move to material balance. How do we do material balance? And the basic formula is given here. That you always have to remember for anything. All of you will need this one in your engineering studies. Mass in through system boundary. Any system has a boundary. It may be a tank. It may be something else. So whatever, any system has a system boundary. What is coming in, we are considering continuously something coming in, continuously something going out. Continuously reaction is going on. So how do we do the balance? Mass coming in through the system boundary minus mass going out through the system boundary plus mass being generated within the system, because reaction is going on. So mass being generated, and for generation some mass is consumed. In the reaction something will be produced, means something has to be consumed. So mass consumed, so mass in minus mass out plus mass generated minus mass consumed is equal to our mass accumulated within system. So we would do, let's see how do we utilize it in our real life. For our healthy living, we need to clean the waste. Every day lots of waste are being generated. You will see the municipal vehicles are coming and they are taking, there are dustbins now in every locality, and then municipality people comes every morning, maybe before you wake up they come, and then they empty the dustbin and take the material for treatment. That is for solid waste. Liquid waste, when you open any tap, then through the basin, through the drainage pipe, water is going out. All kinds of wash water, everything. And that water, and every time through the tap, clean water is coming. Then you are again passing it through the aquaguard or something, some water purifier, and then you drink the water.
Ma'am, again your voice is not coming, I think.
And treating it and making it clean and recycling that back to, and that is a continuous process.
Ma'am, your
So
voice is
for
breaking.
this huh?
Ma'am, while you are speaking, sometimes your voice gets completely cut out and then again it comes back to normal. Ma'am, this is happening, I think.
That is some problem with network.
Ma'am, if it was with network, then your voice wouldn't be audible means clearly. It's audible clear for some time and then for some time it automatically gets cut out. Then again it comes back.
I have connected with the LAN, with the institute network. If I connect with mobile, it I can try connecting with mobile and see if it is improved. Or should I repeat? Because with mobile also connection gets cut off at times.
Ma'am, it's better if you repeat.
Huh?
It will be better if you repeat.
Acha, acha. Okay, so I for we are talking about wastewater treatment, and you understood the material balance, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now the material balance we are using for wastewater treatment. And for wastewater, from your common experience, you can say every time when we open the tap, we get clean water. And every time the water, we are using it for washing or anything, the wash water goes through the drain outside to municipal waste treatment. So municipality every day is getting lot of water for treating, and then we get the clean water back. Okay, so we do one problem based on that. Here the example is that each day 1.5 kg cellulose and 10 to the power 3 kg bacteria, they enter the feed stream, and 10 to the power 4 kg cellulose. You see what entered is 10 to the power 5 kg cellulose, what is going out is 10 to the power 4 kg cellulose. So cellulose is reduced and bacteria entered is 10 to the power 3 kg. Bacteria ate the cellulose. So bacteria increased. Bacteria going out is 1.5 into 10 to the power 4 kg. Now cellulose is being utilized. The rate of cellulose utilization by bacteria eating cellulose at the rate 7 into 10 to the power 4 kg per day. Okay, and cellulose is not produced. So cellulose is coming in, going out and getting consumed. So that's the cellulose balance. We have to write balance for both cellulose and bacteria. And for bacteria, the rate of bacterial growth, bacteria is growing, produced at the rate of 2 into 10 to the power 4 kg per day. And the rate of bacterial cell death, bacteria grow exponentially, then reaches a stationary stage, then it starts dying. So the rate of cell death is 5 into 10 to the power 2 kg per day. So you write the balance for both and tell me about the accumulation of cellulose and bacteria. For cellulose 10 to the power 5 entering, 10 to the power 4 leaving, digestion is 7 into 10 to the power 4. Bacteria 10 to the power 3 coming, 10 to the power 4 leaving, production is 2 into 10 to the power 4 and death by removal is 5 into 10 to the power 2. So tell me the balances for both. You understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, uh, my answer is 2 into 10 to the power 4 for cellulose and bacteria
Yes.
5500 kg.
Yes. Yes. 10 to the power 5 minus 10 to the power 4 plus 0 minus 7 into 10 to the power 4 for cellulose. For bacteria 10 to the power 3 minus 1.5 into 10 to the power 4 plus 2 into 10 to the power 4 minus 5 into 10 to the power 2. This is for accumulation. Now we come to the last problem in our class on stoichiometry. You can see the slide. So here we have studied stoichiometry for our glutamic acid production, for ethanol production, for waste treatment. Now this problem is on an antibiotic production. The antibiotic name is kanamycin. And the bacteria, which the microorganism which is producing this antibiotic is called Streptomyces kanamyceticus, and we have done the production. After that, we have to filter it. We have to separate because the microorganism is also there. From that, we would be getting the antibiotic. When doctor prescribes some antibiotic, we get it as a tablet, right? In the tablet, the amount of antibiotic present is written. Sometimes it is 5 milligram, sometimes it is 10 milligram, but we get a tablet, which is obviously not 5 milligram. It has lot of other things in it. Okay, to make it a tablet form. Anyway, so for that we need to purify it. So fermentation slurry. Slurry is a mixture of solid and liquid. Like if with sand we mix some water, then it won't be a soluble one. If we add salt in water, that will be a solution. But if we add some sand in water, that will be a slurry. Solid liquid mixture. So after we do the fermentation for production of the antibiotic, we get the slurry where we have the microorganism that is a solid and our antibiotic is present in the liquid from which we have to filter. So here we are using the filtration. So for that, in the filter, we are feeding 120 kg per hour of our slurry we are adding to the filter. It's a continuous filter. Filtration is going on. Now, in each kg of slurry, 60 gram of cells are there. So we have 120 kg. If we take 1 hour as basis, then in 120 kg, how much cells are there? That we can calculate. Now, to improve our filtration, we want fast filtration. In filtration, what is happened? That some solid gets deposited on the filter and then the filtration becomes a little slow. So we are adding some filter aid so that our filtration is fast. And that we are adding at a rate of 10 kg per hour. That is another solid which is added. Now, concentration of kanamycin in the slurry which is fed is 0.05% by weight. And liquid filtrate, after filtration we get the clear water that is collected at a rate of 112 kg per hour. And in that filtrate, kanamycin is 0.045%. Weight by weight. Now we need to calculate what percentage liquid is there in the filter cake. When we are doing the filtration, liquid is coming out on the filter, the solid will be deposited. That solid we are calling as filter cake. And it will have some amount of water. So what is the percentage? And in that filter cake liquid, if kanamycin concentration is same as that in the filtrate, means in the filter cake in that liquid, kanamycin concentration is 1 minute. Just a minute. Okay, sorry. So In the filtered cake liquid, kanamycin concentration is the same as filtrate, means 0.045%. Now, how much kanamycin is absorbed per kg filter aid? That we have to calculate. For that, you can hear me properly now? Yes?
Ma'am, as of now, that problem has not occurred yet.
Huh?
As of now, the problem has not occurred yet. It's fine now.
Okay. Okay. So this is what, there is a nice picture of the, we have the system boundary, we have the filter. What is coming in is the slurry which has 120 kg per hour feed, which has 6% cells and 0.05% kanamycin, that we know. And filter aid is coming 10 kg per hour. These are coming in. Going out is the filtrate 112 kg per hour, which has 0.045% kanamycin, and we are getting a filtered cake. Okay, the solid deposition on the filter media. Now we have made a table like this. Table of in and out. And we are calculating how much cells, kanamycin, filter aid and water is there in fermentation slurry, filter aid, filtrate and filter cake. So while coming in, filtrate and filter cake will be 0, and while going out, fermentation slurry and filter aid will be 0. Now let's see the in. In the fermentation slurry, cells is 7.2 because it is 120 kg per hour. It has 6% cells. That is given. 1 kg filtrate has 60 gram cell solids. That was given. So cells is 7.2. And then kanamycin is 0.05% of 120. So that is 0.06. Filter rate is not present in slurry. That is 0. Water, how much we need to calculate. Total is our 120. For filter rate, no cell, no kanamycin, filter rate 10.
Ma'am, your voice has gone off for a particular time. Can you repeat this part again? Again, it goes off.
Okay, so we are calculating, we are doing stoichiometry. So we are doing balancing what is coming in and what is going out. And coming in is fermentation slurry and filter aid. Going out is filtrate and filter cake. And things which are there are cells, the antibiotic kanamycin, filter aid and water. These are the ingredients. Right. Now, for at first coming in, for fermentation slurry, we have 7.2 kg cells because we have 120 kg per hour which has 6% cells. So 7.2, 6% of 120 is 7.2. 0.05% of 120 is 0.06. That is kanamycin. Filter at 0. Water we don't know. Total 120. Similarly for filter aid, cells 0, kanamycin 0, filter aid 10, water 0, total 10. And for going out, filtrate has no cells, cells 0. Kanamycin, since the total is 112 and out of this 0.045% is kanamycin, that is 0.05. In filtrate, no filter rate is there. Water, we don't know. In filter cake, cells, kanamycin, filter rate, water, we don't know. We do not know the total as well. But what we know, the total of in should match with the total of out, isn't it? Now we need to start calculating for in. For cells, it is 7.2 plus 0. So total is 7.2. For kanamycin, 0.06 plus 0. So 0.06, filter rate 0 plus 10. 10, total 120 plus 10, 130. And here water is, for fermentation slurry, water is 120 minus 7.2 minus 0.06. What? How much? That you calculate and then write here. And based on that, you fill the same in values of total you write for the out and balance the out table. Is it clear? Finished? This is the final table. Are you getting these values? And this is pretty self-explanatory. Do I need to explain it again? You check it once. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we need to calculate what percentage liquid is the filter cake and how much kanamycin is absorbed per kg filter aid. So these two things we need to calculate. Now we can say liquid content of the filter cake is 4.4% because it's 0.79 kg water out of total 18 kg. So water percentage is 0.79 by 18 into 100 equal to 4.39%. That is the first part. Second part of is amount of kanamycin absorbed by the filter aid. That how do we calculate? Now concentration of kanamycin in the filter cake liquid is 0.45%, 0.045%. Then we can say, and it is the liquid is 0.79 kg. So 0.45% of 0.79 kg, that is 3.6 into 10 to the power minus 4 kg, isn't it? And total amount of kanamycin is 0.01 kg. You see, total kanamycin in the filter cake is 0.01 kg. And then concentration should be 3.6 into 10 to the power minus 4. So 0.01 minus 3.6 into 10 to the power minus 4 kg means 0.0096 kg of kanamycin is unaccounted for. So we are considering that kanamycin is not absorbed by the cells. So this amount of kanamycin, 0.0096 kanamycin, that has to be retained by the filter aid only, because it can be retained by any solid. Cells are not absorbing. So this entire amount of kanamycin is retained by the or absorbed by the filter aid. And our 10 kg filter aid is present. Then kanamycin absorbed per kg filter aid is 0.0096 by 10 equal to 9.6 into 10 to the power minus 4 kg per kg. Okay. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's fine. Okay then. So this is all for your topic of bioprocess engineering. Now your mid-sem is over. Now you only have your end-sem, right? So these all topics I'll send to the CR, and these all topics will be included, and similar problems will be asked in the exam. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, 1 minute, I'll download your attendance. Your is section, which section? Section I.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, section I. Okay, so thank you and best of luck for your exam. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.